Thanks Brandon for having me on your channel. Hey guys, I'm Divyanshu and I'm gonna help you get 1% better. So let's talk about this guy named Julian who was a very successful lawyer. Now when I say successful, I mean that he was famous, rich, and he fought cases only to defend some really wealthy people. He had a big mansion, a private jet, and of course a Ferrari. But even after achieving these huge things in his life, he was not satisfied. He wanted more fame, more money, which led him to a point where he was working for almost 18 hours a day. As a result, he got divorced. He barely interacted with his family, and boy did he look like an 80-year-old man even though he was just 53. So once during a regular courtroom session, he felt some pain around his chest area and suddenly he fainted. He was rushed to a nearby hospital where doctors diagnosed that he just got a heart attack. When Julian came back to senses, doctors advised him not to go so hard on himself as he really was not in a position to sustain all that pressure. They asked Julian to quit his job and to live his life peacefully with all that he has earned. This came as a shock to him. I mean, he had been winning all cases his entire life, but when it came to the case of his own life, he looked like a loser. He took a few days to digest this fact and slowly he started to realize all his mistakes. So one fine morning, he took a very bold step. He started selling every materialistic things that he possessed. He sold his mansion, his private jet, and yes, he even sold his Ferrari. Once he was done selling things, he set out on a journey in search of the true meaning of life. This journey was towards the mystical land of India across the great Himalayan range where these Indian monks resided. These monks were no ordinary, as they were among the people with highest level of wisdom and they were capable of liberating the potential of anyone's soul, body and mind. Julian had his sources from where he got to know that these monks live happily for more than 100 years, that too with an energy of a young man. It took him days to find one of those monks who upon listening to Julian's story agreed to take him to their secret village. Julian started living there with those monks in that village. Watching Julian's dedication, monk leader decided to teach Julian the principles of life on a condition that Julian will not keep that knowledge to himself, rather he would spread it to the outside world. So the monk started narrating his story. Imagine you are sitting in a beautiful garden which is full of different type of trees, flowers, and you can see many birds chirping around. The flowers in the garden smell really nice and you are having a good time there. You notice that there's a lighthouse in the middle of the garden and suddenly the door of that lighthouse creaks open as you can see a sumo wrestler coming out of the lighthouse. It's really weird to look at the sumo wrestler as he's just wearing an underwear made of thin wire. He wanders around and finds a golden stopwatch lying in the garden. As soon as he tries to pick it up, he slips and he falls on the ground lying motionless. After some time, you could see that he gets back to his senses, probably because of the nice fragrance of the rose in the garden, and he looks towards his left. On his left was a path paved out of small diamonds which led to a place where the sumo wrestler can find all the happiness in his life. He starts walking on that path and soon gets out of sight. Now I know you guys might be feeling really weird, so did Julian, as this is no story. He asked monk if this was some kind of a joke as this story made no sense at all. The monk then said that this is no ordinary story as this story has 7 biggest principles of life. He then went ahead and started explaining the story, relating it to its hidden meaning. The first principle is related to the garden. The garden in the story symbolizes our brain. If you sow good seeds, you'll eventually bear nice fruits on trees, good plants bearing beautiful flowers and nice smooth grass. But if you put garbage inside the garden or if you just stop watering the plants, the place will soon turn into a dump. Similarly, if you flood your brain with positive thoughts like kindness, love, empathy, and if you keep motivating yourself, your brain will develop into this beautiful garden bearing good thoughts. This will help you achieve great things in life with inner peace. But if you think negative, or if you don't give your brain some regular exercise, it will turn into this garbage dump which can only yield something poisonous. It's rightly said, empty mind is devil's workshop. The second principle is related to the lighthouse, which symbolizes goals in your life. A lighthouse shows the right direction to the ship sailing in an ocean. Similarly, we should choose a right path in our life. You can only reach a destination if at all you know your destination. Choose a target and work on achieving it. You might have to face some difficulties while moving towards your goal, but if you're consistently moving in right direction, sooner or later you are going to reach your destination. The third principle is related to the sumo wrestler, which symbolizes Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese word which means continuous learning and improvement. Like a sumo wrestler has to be very specific with his diet and discipline to achieve this huge physique, we need to always keep learning. 1% Better has always been focusing on how we should inculcate the habit of reading books because books are the best mentors. Not only you learn things from books, but you always keep improving in every small thing that you do in your life. Moreover, books are a consolidation of everything that the authors have learned in their entire lifetime, and you can have all that knowledge in just a few hours. Isn't that amazing? So my point here is to take part in every activity which you think can help you improve in your life. The fourth principle is related to the underwear that the wrestler is wearing, which is made up of wires. It depicts self-control and discipline. It might be small and thin, but without that underwear, the wrestler will be naked, and that certainly won't be a pleasing sight. Now, if you have seen cable wire from inside, you might be aware of the fact that it usually is made up of many thin wires which together forms a cable. These thin wires might be weak alone, but when put together are even stronger than an iron rod. Similarly, our self-control and discipline is made up of every small thing that we do in our life, be it waking up early or eating healthy. We feel that these small things don't really matter, but in reality, these are the only thing that matters. You won't see an instant impact, but in the long run, these small things will bring some big changes in your life and they will define who you are as an individual. The fifth principle is related to the golden stopwatch, which symbolizes time. No matter how rich or poor you are, you only have 24 hours in an entire day, not even a second more or less than anyone else. But the way we utilize these 24 hours is what makes us happy or sad, rich or poor. Most of us have this habit of procrastinating, which is nothing but a waste of time. By the time you are done with building castles in the air, someone else out there just signed a huge profitable deal. By the time you woke up in the morning, someone else is returning from gym feeling fresh, fit and happy. Now when I say time is golden, it doesn't mean that we should always keep working. No, instead we must enjoy and have some fun activities in our day-to-day life. But what's really important is to manage everything in those 24 hours. Every successful person knows how to manage time, so they manage to do every single activity in same 24 hours that each one of us has got. Now the sixth principle is related to the fragrant rose. There's one really famous saying in Chinese which means that there's always a little fragrance remaining in the hand of those who give flowers to others. So here this flowers and its fragrance symbolizes social cause. It doesn't matter how much you earn or what heights you reach, the satisfaction of helping others is priceless. No wonder why some really rich people in today's world do charity work, investing their hard-earned money in developing some rural village and many more things. So if you want to have that priceless feeling of happiness and satisfaction, help others selflessly and you'll find yourself happy most of the time. The seventh principle is related to the path of diamonds. These diamonds represent the small moment of happiness which comes our way in life. These moments are always in your present time. Our human brains are designed in such a way that we tend to get disturbed thinking about past and worrying about future. We never really enjoy the small happy moments that we have in present. It can literally be anything, playing with your kids in a nearby park or maybe spending some quality time with your partner. These special moments are supposed to be lived in present and these are the real diamonds in our life. If only you understand this now, we are really going to be good at relationships and well, a real happy contented person. So guys, these were the 7 lessons which the monk taught Julian which completely changed his life. As promised, Julian spread out this knowledge to the outer world and that is what we all should do to help our loved ones get all the happiness in their life. So share this video with everyone you care about and subscribe to this channel for more videos which will help you become 1% better.